You didn't earn it. You didn't build it. You were simply born on the right side of a decision that was made before you existed. And the only job anyone ever gave you, the only thing that was ever truly asked of you, was not to be the one who loses it. This is the story of what it actually means to be born into old money. Not the fantasy, not the Instagram version, the reality. The weight of it, the silence of it, the way it shapes a person from the very first morning they open their eyes in a house that has belonged to their family for 200 years. The house is too big for a child. You understand this without being told. The corridors are long. The ceilings are high. There are rooms you are not allowed in, not because anyone has forbidden you. They belong to another era. There are portraits on the walls. They are your family. You know this because you were told, but they are strangers. Men and women in formal clothes, painted in oils. You study them sometimes. You look for yourself in them. Your name is old, older than you. It belonged to someone else before it belonged to you, and it will belong to someone else after. You are one chapter in a story that began centuries before your birth. Money is never discussed. This is the first thing you learn. Not what money is, or how much there is, or where it comes from, just that it is not discussed. It exists the way the house exists, as a given, a permanent feature of the landscape, as natural and unquestioned as the grounds outside the window. You are 6 years old. You already know that some things are simply yours. You do not yet know what that costs. The school has a chapel. This is the first thing visitors notice. The second thing they notice is the grounds, manicured, vast, the kind of green that requires money to maintain. The third thing they notice is the silence of discipline. You board here. You have since you were 8. The boys around you are the same and different. Same background, same accent beginning to form, same casual relationship with money that marks you all as belonging to the same world. But different in the ways that matter at 13. Who is clever? Who is cruel? Who understands the unspoken hierarchy of a dormitory at night? You learn Latin. You learn how to lose gracefully. You learn that confidence is not something you perform. It is something you inhabit. Nobody here talks about money either. They don't need to. It is visible in everything. The quality of the uniform, the ease of the posture, the assumption, never stated, that the world will arrange itself around you rather than the other way around. You begin to understand that your education is not primarily academic. It is social. It is a signal. It is the process by which one world recognizes its own. The dinner is not about the food. The conversation moves through subjects, art, politics, property. Everyone here is connected to everyone else through 3 or 4 links at most. You are being introduced, and your presence among these people is itself the introduction. You belong to a name they recognize. That name opens something. You are beginning to understand precisely what that means. There is a man at the end of the table who your father knows from school. He runs something, a fund, a firm, something significant. He gives you a card, not because of anything you have done, because of everything you were born into. The network is not something you joined. You were born inside it. Your father sits you down. You have sat across from this desk before, but always as a child. Today, something is different. Today, he is talking to you as the next chapter. He explains things, the structure of it, the trusts, the assets, the properties, the investments held in names that predate you, the obligations, the staff, the estate, the charitable commitments made by people who died before your parents were born, but whose commitments remain. This is the kind of information that settles into you rather than being learned. He says, your job is stewardship, not ownership. You are the custodian of something that belongs to the family, not to you. You will pass it on in better condition than you received it. That is the only measure. You nod. You drive home and sit in the car for a long time before going inside. The house was never yours. You always knew this. You understand it differently now. There are events. These are not social occasions, they are rituals of belonging, annual confirmations that you are still part of the world you were born into. You dress correctly. Your spouse navigates this world with the fluency of someone who was born into it. A partner who cannot perform at these events is a liability in a way that sounds cold and is simply accurate. You have opinions you do not express publicly, political ones mostly. The family has a position that has been refined over generations into something so subtle it can only be read by those who know how to look for it. You write a check to a charity, a large one. Your name appears on a building the following year. This is not vanity, it is maintenance of reputation, of legacy, of the relationship between the family name and the world it has inhabited for centuries. Everything is maintenance. This is what nobody tells you about old money. It is not luxury, it is labor. Not every generation holds. Your brother sold his share. He wanted out of the obligation, the performance, the weight of the name and everything it required. He took his portion and he left, and he lives somewhere warm now with a life that belongs entirely to him. You are still inside the structure. He is outside it. You understand his choice. You could not have made it. This is the thing about old money that nobody outside it fully grasps. It is not simply wealth, it is identity. To leave it is not to give up money, it is to give up the entire architecture of who you are. Your brother is free. You watch him from inside the house and you feel two things simultaneously that have no resolution. Relief that you stayed, something that might be envy. You are sitting at the desk now, the same desk. The leather surface worn smooth by your hands, the way it was worn smooth by your fathers and his fathers before that. The portraits on the wall are the same portraits. Some of them look like you now in a way they didn't when you were 6. You have a child of your own. They run through corridors that are too long for a child. You watch them do this, and you think of yourself at 9. You have not yet sat them down at this desk. That conversation is coming. You know how it goes. You know what you will say, because you know what was said to you, and what was said to the person before you, and the person before that. The words have been worn smooth by repetition across centuries. Stewardship, not ownership. You will say it, and they will not, and they will drive home one day and sit in the car for a long time before going inside. And the house will still be there when they do. It has always been there.